Hello? Hello?
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
good, good.
Hello.
Okay, so we're gonna start class now, okay? Can you open up the PDF I sent you a little earlier, a little while ago? Okay, good. All right, so today we're gonna warm up with the scenario technique, and then we're gonna jump into our storytelling technique. So the scenario technique, basically, I'm gonna give you a picture. And the idea is for you to describe everything you see in the picture. And we need to have some structure. So first you describe the environment, the setting of the picture, uh, what time of the year, what country is it at, what time of the day, what's the season. And then after you start describing the details. And you go from left to right, and you use simple English, and only what you see. Don't interpret, don't add, don't try to create anything more than only what you see. So we give the brain entertainment by looking at the visual picture, and then you're just describing what you're seeing. And this is an exercise in preparation for our storytelling. Okay, so it's just a warm up for the storytelling. Okay? Okay, good. Okay, all right. So let's go to page 4 and begin.
There is a summer day, and it is a dinner time. And there is a small restaurant at the corner of the street, and it is full of people. And there is still light outside, but the sun is going down. And restaurant, they have a lot of tables right on the street, so the people sit outside and enjoy their evening. And there is a guy walking by at the left side, and there is a big table with a lot of people around. They are not eating their food. They're still waiting for the food. And there is people of different age, and women and men. And some tables close to them are still empty, but they are ready for for guests to come. And there is a big menu which is standing right at the street, and there is two young ladies walking by and looking at that restaurant. And there is two waiters who is waiting to serve the guests and waiting to take orders. And there is a young couple at the right side, and they are already enjoying their food. And right after that restaurant, there is another cafe. It is also open for dinner. That's all.
Okay, very good, very good, very good description. You did a great job. Okay, good. Okay, let's go down. Let's scroll down to page 14. Okay, and again, Describe what you see. First the environment, then the details. Go from left to right.
You mean the picture with the lab? Okay. Uh-huh. So there is a chemical lab, and it is a working day. And there are 4 people who is working there. And there is a guy on the left side. He is looking at his microscope, and he is wearing a white uniform and brown shoes. And at his right side there is a blackboard with a very big chemical formula, and there's some liquid on the table in front of him. And then there is a guy and a woman. They describing something, and a woman is putting notes in her black note book. And then behind them there is shells with a different kind of chemical liquids, and some of them are already empty. And then there is a girl sitting in front of a big screen and watching some graphics. And all of them wearing white uniform. And then there is a big table with a bunch of some chemical liquid and other ingredients, and also papers and books.
Perfect. All right. Good. You described exactly what you saw. Okay, and so that's the point of this exercise, to be able to describe. Now, the more detail, you could increase the detail amount. That would be great. You used simple English, and it was very good. So you did a great job. Okay, so now let's jump into storytelling. Okay, so page 25. We start storytelling, and the main idea in storytelling is that once you have a keyword, you search your memory to find a story, something that you have experienced before. So it's your own experience from your memory related to this word, and you need to visualize that story in your mind. You need to visualize it and then describe it to me. So the whole point of this storytelling technique is to visualize your story and then describe to me. Okay, got it? Okay, good. Okay, so let's go to page 28. And these are very simple words, so it's just an exercise. And I'm going to give you 3 words. You're going to select one keyword. You're going to find your story. You're going to visualize your story in your mind. You're going to describe it to me. After you're comfortable describing your story, then you're going to use the remaining words. But don't think about those words until after you already started describing your story, your experience, okay? So I'm going to give you...
You mean don't think about what? Don't what?
Don't think of the remaining
don't think
words.
About this.
Yeah, hold on one second. Hold on. Just relax a little bit. Hold on one second, okay? So let me pick a row here. Okay, so line 69, I'm going to give you 3 words, the first 3 words in line 69, which are return, women, and mountain. Okay? So you need to pick one keyword and find a related story to that keyword. Then I want you to visualize that story. It has to be something you have experienced before. And then I want you to start describing it to me. After you're comfortable and you can clearly, visually see that story in your mind, then I want you to try to add the remaining other 2 words. Okay? So, but the important part of this exercise is that you visualize your story. That you must pick a story that you have experienced yourself before. Okay? Okay, so now you got 3 words. Line 69, we're on page 28. Line 69, you have 3 words. Return, women, and mountain. You need to pick one keyword and then go find your story.
Okay, I pick the mountain.
Okay.
Right. So, several years ago, I went to South China, and I with my friend, we did hiking. And so we went to a mountain, and we went to the upper side, and then there was a hostel, so we took a night there. And when we started to hike, it was very difficult, probably because we weren't prepared. And after we reached the hostel, we still had the time to go further and reach another one. But the hostel was very nice and the food was really good, so we decided to to sleep one night at that hostel and continue to do hiking at the next day. And that hostel belongs to a minority, and there were several women. One of them is a grandma, her young granddaughter, and probably her daughter. And some of them prepared the dinner for the guest, and some of them were doing some gardening at the fields close to that guest house. And there were other group of tourists, but the whole guest house was a little bit empty, but that was good because the evening was very quiet. And the next day in the morning, we wake up very early because by the evening time we wanted to reach the last point of that mountain, that pass, and next day return to the city. So we got up very early, like about 5 in the morning. It still was dark outside, and we had very nice breakfast. A young daughter, she cooked for us something like pancakes and with bananas and something else. It was very nice. So we were really, how to say, well loaded for the whole day. And then we went to and we were only, there were only two of us because other guests were still sleeping. So we left, and it was very, very cold in the morning, and that was the most difficult part of the difficult point of the hiking.
Okay, very good, Nadia. That was very good. Okay, let's move on to page 32. Okay, so line 59. Okay, the first 5 words.
Game, home, risk, sport, and future.
Yes. So remember, you did really well. You found your story, and you started describing your story. You got to make sure you're visualizing it. I was visualizing your story, so that's a good sign, because that tells me that you're most likely visualizing. So you need to visualize and just describe what you see in your visualization. Okay, you need to just describe. You can go kind of quickly about it. Just describe what you see. Don't create. Don't add anything new. Just what you see. Kind of like the scenario exercise we just got through doing, except that the picture's already in your mind. Okay. And then once you get kind of going, so you need to move along a little bit. Don't too much hesitation. So you gotta relive that experience, and then you look at the other words to try to get them in there. But by magic, the other words are gonna fit in there after you really feel warmed up in your story. Go ahead, pick your keyword.
We had a PC computer. We have the PC, and that was the time when we just got it. So my dad installed a game on it. And the game was something where you choose the actor, where you choose what you want to be, and then you have a mission. And every time I got back home from my school, I went to that computer and I played. And my brother wanted to play too, so he was standing close to me and watching. And he also played sometimes when I was busy. So later we shared who got to what place, so how far each of us went in that game. And it was a time when I actually supposed to prepare for my exam, but I couldn't do that because I was so inside that game. So every 30 minutes I learned my exam, I came back to the game and spent another 30 minutes playing. And the game was so real that the pictures were in my mind even when I did something else. And of course, there was a very big risk that I'm going to fail my exam. And fortunately, I didn't. I still was able to prepare, but I wasted a lot of time for that game. And gladly it finished like after a couple of months. I just lost an interest in that. It's finished. My story is finished.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, I think you're telling the story is good, and that the main purpose is that. But you still also, once you warmed up in it, then you got to try to use the words, the remaining words. So you use home, but risk, sport, and future. I don't think you use those, correct? Risk. Okay. All right. Okay. So that's fine. But try once you're warmed up in it, then look down there, and then the words will fall. Like I saw the words coming in there. Home, because your father brought it. You could have used home. Is you use home and risk, but okay. Anyway, you try to use all the words if you can after you warm up. Okay. All right. All right. Let me see page 33. Okay, how about 53? Line 53, we're on page 33. The first 6 words. Yes. Shot. Desire, discount, and that's it. You don't. Go ahead. You got to pick a key word. Okay.
Okay, discount.
Okay, good.
Right. So recently I bought some things on a Taobao. And when you buy several things in the same place, I bought like 4 items. That shop, they had a coupon for discount. Something like if you buy more than for 300, you get a coupon for 50 yuan discount. So I choose 4 items, and I first check the price. If the price will be more than 300, and then after it's exceeded 300, I used my coupon for discount, and I paid through the Jiffubao, and I waited when the goods come. When the goods came, I decided to return some of the items, but I was afraid that if I return, like for example, one of them, then the amount of my purchase won't be 300, so I will lose my discount. But when I apply for to return it, they gave me the money for that items, but their benefit for other 3 items was still there. So they divided 50 yuan for the whole purchase. Because I bought 4 items, divided it for 4. So I still had discount for every item, like about 12 kwai. I don't know what to tell about other words.
Okay, all right. Well, no problem. Okay, good. Your story is okay. I mean, it's I can see it. Okay, can we do one more? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
Okay, how about page 34. Line 58. Just 3 words, okay?
Okay, breakfast. So I went for breakfast at the Singaporean cafe. Usually they open at 8. And usually there is a lot of people to come there to have breakfast because they had a promotion for the breakfast time. They have a set with egg, sandwich, and milk tea. So usually it is full of people between 8 and 9. And during the summertime, they have tables outside of a cafe at the street. And these tables made of metal and chairs also made of metal. So I don't like to sit on them because it's not very comfortable. But there is some people who came there and they bought food somewhere outside a different place. So they can't go inside the cafe because they can't bring food outside. But they sit outside at their chairs and eat their own food. Sometimes they buy food at a very cheap stores in the front of the street. And usually all seats are occupied with the people.
Okay, very good, Nadia. Okay, let's go to page 40, and then I have some follow-up exercises. So the scenario technique, if you can, for 15 to 20 seconds, if you can do it maybe 2 times a day, take a snapshot of your environment and just try to observe the environment with all details as possible. So before we were doing this in each person's native language, but now when you take the snapshot and when you look around the room, taking 15 to 20 seconds, I want you to use English to just identify the functionality of a given entity or of a given object. Try to use in English, like you have the snapshot of the environment, and then of each individual going from left to right, each section, try to visualize it in English. Okay, and try to do that 2 times a day, 15 to 20 seconds. And then I've sent out the video clips, vocabulary review clips, and they also have the pronunciation now, the vocal, for pronunciation purposes. So you can visualize the word. It's in English, and then it gives you the translation on the right side for different from different countries, different languages, relative to our student base, and then you can hear it. So you can review the word, you can see the spelling of the word, and also it'll tell you whether it's a noun, a verb, an adjective, an adverb, and then you can hear the word. And the clips are about 9 minutes or 8 to 9 minutes each. So you can use those and try to look at one video clip or 2 video clips a day. So maybe one in the morning, one at night. Okay?
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.